Hi guys, welcome back to my live session. So I'm doing this at a time where a lot of people could be, awake, and it's a Friday morning, Eastern time. It's about 10 a.m. So a lot of people should be awake by now. If you're on the other side of the world, like I am, it's the evening time. People are returning home to like spend the weekend and stuff. So yeah, that's why I wanted to do a live during this session right now. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or whatsoever, just ask me, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. And yeah, so I think a lot of people are joining right now. So yeah, I really wanted to do it at this timing because there was feedback like, could you do it at a different timing instead? Because the last time I did it, I heard a lot of people couldn't join because of that timing. So I thought, like, why not do it right now? So yeah, if you guys have any questions, be sure to ask me, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. So yeah, in the meantime, because this video will be uploaded onto YouTube, I just wanted to talk about my SP course as well. I have launched it, and it has videos and quizzes, and it's a course that will be updated over time, but it has been launched already. So you can check the link for more information, or you can reach out to me via Instagram or email for more information regarding the course and how it works, and to figure out if it may be suitable for you. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, yeah, please go ahead. Hi Meghna, how are you? Okay, I think more people are joining, but I'm not sure what's going on right now. Okay, wait. Can you guys hear me? Can someone confirm this, because I'm not sure if my video is being heard right now. I Yeah, I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me or something. Like, if you, so yeah, if you are online, just type something, because I'm not sure. Okay, sure, thank you. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, just be sure to ask me. Yeah, okay, thank you. So yeah, hope you guys are having a great Friday evening slash morning. Yeah, this video will be uploaded onto YouTube. Yes, I have a private question. Yeah, so this video will be uploaded onto YouTube. So normally when I upload it, what I will title it is, I'll title it as Insta Live, and then I'll put the date so that you guys can actually like go back and see if you guys have asked any questions or whatsoever. You guys can like just look into the playlist that I have on my YouTube channel, and it will be uploaded there. So it's accessible for everyone basically, so it's not unlisted or whatsoever, it is public. So yeah, how to control negative thinking instead if flipping it. Okay, so you do, like, that's the way I control it, is by flipping those thoughts, right? But at the same time, one thing that I do is I'll take a step back. I disassociate myself with the thought by saying I'm not my thoughts. I am rather the observer that is within, right? So when I disassociate myself from the thought, because that's who we are, right? We are not our thoughts, right? We are, the observer that's within. So I tell myself, okay, these are just thoughts, let it pass by. You don't have to react to those thoughts, you just have to, let it pass by. And that's how I kind of control it. Like, ask myself, okay, why do I, you know think this way, or why does this thought pop up? What was, the past events that kind of made me think this way? And then I kind of work my way backwards, and I kind of reverse engineer that, and I tell myself, this is not always the case for that, right? And that's how I will do it. For example, if, let's say, if you have a perception of, like, say, men, all men are, f boys, for example, right? You have to go back and like reverse engineer what caused you to think that way, right? And then you have to tell yourself, like, okay, and you have to flip it. Then you have to like change your entire thought process. So that kind of helps you to, not just like your negative thoughts by not just controlling it, but rather when you change the underlying core thought there, or core memory there, then it becomes easier for you to control it. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Okay, wait, I do have a few questions. Let me wave to everyone. Hi guys, thank you for joining. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Okay, so what is revision? How to practice revision to turn negative past slash current experience? Okay, so the way revision works is you change a past event, and by changing that, the hope is that you are attracting experiences based on the revised set of past events, right? Essentially, what you're doing is in the infinite parallel realities and where all possibilities exist, you are essentially aligning with a favorable past, and in the process of doing so, you are basically attracting circumstances based on that. Now, how do you do it? There are many ways to do it, right? So Neville always preached the revision of the letter technique. So you write a letter from anyone's perspective to yourself, and then you read it until it becomes true. You can mentally like visualize as though that event was whatever unpleasant event that happened, you can visualize it in a way that it went favorable for you, right? Say when you were a kid, your parents like scolded you for something that you did wrong, and it caused you a lot of like childhood trauma, for example. You go back and you recreate the scene, and you see your parents praising you for something, and you kind of revise that and make that your core memory. And you do that by thinking about that as your past event, as though it actually happened, and you repeatedly think about it every day until your mind can't differentiate between what actually went down that day and your revised past, right? So eventually, as you're repeating this new memory in your mind, like what will happen is your mind will start to accept this as the actual past that happened. So that's how you do revision. Okay, is SC enough to manifest SP? So I have a private question right now. Is self-concept enough to manifest SP? Yes, I do believe it is, because I always say this, right? You can never go wrong when you are investing in yourself. And if everyone is you pushed out, which is true, right? SP is also within you. So when you invest in yourself, you're also working on SP, right? If you say everyone loves me, I am magnetic and everything, it also includes SP, right? SP also conforms to seeing you that way, right? So you can manifest SP simply by focusing on your self-concept, for sure. So hope that answers it. Okay, you're welcome. Hi guys, thank you for joining. When I talk to persons in my imagination, I don't hear their voice. Instead of that, I hear my voice. It is normal, right? So some people can hear their person's voice exactly. Some people can vaguely make it out, and you can hear it in your voice too. So it's completely fine, honestly, as long as you are believing that that okay, this is coming from that person. That's all that matters. So it's more about making it believable for you. So it's not about like whether it's right or wrong. As long as it's believable for you, it's fine. So yeah. Yes, I am going to be posting it on YouTube. So yeah. Hi, thank you. Yeah. What time is it there? I think like it's morning, right? So thank you for joining on a Friday morning. I'm not able to visualize properly. Trying to focus becomes hard. Okay, so visualizing is something that is like a muscle, right? Like as you train it, it becomes clearer. So what I would say is that take time off your day, try to visualize something, right? Like a fruit, for example. Like imagine yourself like holding like a yellow lemon, for example, or like an apple, right? Another exercise you can do is let's say you're in your bedroom, you can visualize your kitchen as it is right now, and you can like literally like look around as you close your eyes, and you can see like, okay, what are the things that I notice in my kitchen. And once you've done that exercise, you go physically to that place, like in this case your kitchen, and you can see like, okay, what are the details that I missed out in my visualization. And you can go back and repeat that same exercise, this time with all the details that you have seen. So this is a practice that you can do to kind of like start to visualize in a very vivid way. And as Neville would say, like add sensory vividness, right? Like imagine you're drinking something like maybe a cup of tea or sipping wine, for example. That kind of enhances your experience. So it's okay if those images are very blurry at first. What matters more with regards to techniques is that your mind needs to believe that it is actually happening in that moment, right? If you're, as long as your mind believes that okay, whatever is going on is something that is believable for it, then it's fine, honestly. So you don't have to like, not every visualization will be like, you know, in HD quality, so to speak. So hope that answers your question. Oh, it's 10:17 in the morning. Okay, yeah. I think you guys, most of you guys are from Eastern side, I think, when it comes to the US, right? EST. Yes, I am saving this live on YouTube. Okay, so I have another private question. What do you think about spells and healings? Does it create resistance in manifestation journey? So what do you mean by spells and healings? If you can clarify that, because I'm not familiar. What are you referring to? How do you stop negative thoughts? You don't stop it 100%. Like, there'll always be intrusive thoughts all the time, right? Like, it will never be 100%. What matters is, can we quickly bounce back, right? Even I have intrusive thoughts, right? What matters more is not acknowledging it, letting it pass by, and quickly bouncing back from it and telling yourself like, okay, I'm not my thoughts, right? Because I create my reality. So one thing that I always do for myself is I always have this underlying rule that only favorable things manifest for me. Only favorable thoughts manifest for me. So automatically what that rule does for me is, you know, like cancel out all the unfavorable thoughts. So I'm not really bothered by, you know, negative thoughts, so to speak. And you know, that's how I deal with it. So, and even if you think about it, like if you go deeper into this, right, like you'll realize like negative and positives are just labels that we give a thought. Like it's very neutral in and of itself. So you can go and ask yourself like, you know, why do you think it's negative, right? What causes you to think it's negative? And you can like, you know, do a little bit of reflection there as well, and that will really help. Trying to wave to everyone. Yeah, I hope that answers your question. Okay, I have a spells and healings that tarot readers do to manifest SP, like love spells, communication spells, and healings. Oh, I didn't know that tarot readers actually did that. I don't think it creates resistance per se. You know, again, those things have power if you believe these things have power, right? If I think spells literally are like, you know, like just affirmations essentially, right? So if you are believing it, then it becomes true. So that's how I see it. So yeah, hope that makes sense. When we try to flip negative with positive thoughts, will not create resistance? Question mark. Okay, so I don't think it creates resistance. The only thing that creates resistance is you comparing it to the 3D and thinking, how is this going to be possible? In my opinion, that's what creates resistance more than anything else. Because there's a reason why you can't accept it compared to, say, unfavorable thoughts, right? Because you think, you know, there's evidence to back the unfavorable thoughts, therefore it being more believable. The only reason favorable thoughts can't be believable for you is because you're already looking for evidence of it. But it will take time for the evidence to show up, because this is a thought that you just planted. So it will take a while for it to show up sometimes, but you know, it doesn't have to be that way. So I would say like just keep focusing on your thoughts and your imagination, and it will come to fruition. So it won't create resistance unless you try to compare it to the 3D. So yeah. Is there any other questions? Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I'll just wait for any other questions that's on the way. You guys can send me private questions as well, by the way. So yeah, if you guys you know, like any shy to post it like publicly or whatsoever, like you guys can always ask me privately. Okay, so I have another private question. So my SC plus physical glow up is enough to manifest my SP because everyone is you pushed out. Yeah. I mean, like if you are investing in yourself, they will definitely come back, right? You don't necessarily have to focus on your SP per se. At the end of the day, this is all about you more than your SP, because again, your SP is you pushed out, like what you just said. So they will come, and at that time you will have a choice of if you want to accept them in your life or not, right? So yeah. Hi ma'am, thank you for joining. So yeah, like I would say like I know like people tend to doubt the whole if I invest in myself, just with self concept affirmations will like SP uh, you know come back into my life and so on, and they will, right? So it's more about removing the emphasis away from them and putting it on yourself, and in the process of doing so, what normally happens is that you bring down from the pedestal. So that kind of automatically removes that kind of chasing vibe or that kind of desperate vibe you potentially may have in the process of manifesting an SP. So I feel like when you're investing in yourself and just solely focusing on self concept, it really works as well. So yeah, you can, I'm not sure where you guys post your private question, like I don't know how that works because I'm the one hosting it right now. So yeah, if you any of you can help this person out, Kushi Jane, right, like I really appreciate it. Thanks. How to manifest consistent communication from my SP? Intent for it, like just literally affirm that my SP and I are having constant communication, that's it. So the answer always lies in your question, right? Like, so yeah, just affirm for it. Yeah, sometimes we have anxious and fearful thoughts. What to do? Like I said, disassociate yourself from it. Tell yourself, remind yourself you're not your thoughts, right? You are the observer that's within. Let it pass by, and yeah, don't try to resist it, right? The only time when you tell yourself no, this is not true or something like that, and when you start panicking, that's when it becomes worse, right? What you resist kind of persists at that point. So don't try to fight it. Ask yourself, where is this thought coming from, and try to deal with it that way. So yeah. Hi Aditi, thank you for joining. Can you give tips to ignore 3D? No, I can give tips for sure, but honestly, like with 3D, here's the thing, right? It's not difficult. It's really not difficult to ignore 3D. It's just that like people have trouble like applying it consistently, I would say, right? Like that's the main thing. So like I can tell you, right, how do you ignore 3D? Like literally, like don't check your SP social media. Like don't discuss it with people who are not familiar with like manifesting, because they may have their own views, and that may confuse you. Don't be scouring through Reddit forums and like Facebook groups, like I mentioned in one of my previous reminders. And don't be looking for evidences and reassurance on the outside. Rather, give it to yourself within. These are simple things. That's how I ignore 3D. But then again, when it comes to application, you can ask yourself like how many people in the community actually do it. Then yeah, I think the answer is pretty clear there. So I think that's my tips. But like like I think it's more about the application that consistently. So a lot of it boils down to literally self-discipline at that point. So yeah. Hi Tanya, thank you for joining. Do you listen to Subliminals? No, I don't. I'm a type of guy who can't really listen to a lot of things, because when I'm sleeping, I need like silence basically. So I can't like strap onto anything and go to bed. But if it works for you, it works for you, right? The only thing to just mind is make sure that the YouTube channel is like trustworthy, because you never know what they are putting in that Subliminals. So, and also like just check if the lists of subliminals are the audio and the affirmations that are in the subliminals is something that is intended for you. So yeah, hope that answers your question. How to stay positive all the time? You really don't. Right? Like I have never seen someone who stays positive like all the time, right? And this isn't about that. Manifesting isn't about staying positive all the time, right? You will have your moments, you will have doubts and fears pop up from time to time. That is human of us, right? And even Neville said it, right? Like even when he was going to Barbados, right, he was always asking like Abdullah about this. And he even said that, right, we are human enough to want a little bit of hope. And you can't stay positive. I feel like that's a very you are like putting too much pressure on yourself when you expect yourself to be positive all the time. Like that just doesn't happen. So rather, what you aim for is something that like are you thinking favorably about your desire whenever you think about it? That's a much more like reasonable goal to aim for, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Let me see. is it okay if we don't feel confident enough sometimes when affirming? Yeah. You don't have to believe your affirmations all the time, right? Like, especially in the beginning, right? Like, you're not going to be saying your affirmations with like 100%, like conviction, especially in the beginning, right? And even if you are saying it like, well into like maybe a week or two or even 3 weeks, right? You may not believe it 100%, but that's fine. Again, you're not targeting your conscious mind, rather you are targeting your subconscious mind. That's the main thing there, right? You're targeting your subconscious mind. And when you are like affirming, like people always think like, but I don't believe it, like I still don't believe it. Well, doesn't matter, because you are feeding your subconscious mind, right? You don't really pay attention to those 5 seconds of like YouTube advertisements either, but they are not targeting your conscious mind, they are targeting your subconscious mind, right? I remember there was this episode in Mythbusters, right, back in the early 2000s. They did an experiment where under hypnosis people reveal things that they may not be aware of consciously, right? So there was this experiment where this pizza delivery guy will come and he will hand out the pizza and everything, and then they will reveal details like, okay, what did they observe about this guy and everything consciously, and under hypnosis they will reveal what they noticed and everything, right? And under hypnosis what they even revealed was what tattoo the guy had on their wrist, which like they didn't notice consciously, right? So our subconscious registers everything, like it records everything. So you're not doing things for the conscious mind, rather you're doing it for the subconscious mind. So when you're doing affirmations, it's okay if you don't believe it, it's okay if you don't feel it, because it's for your subconscious mind, it's not for your conscious mind. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Oh my god. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to wave to people. And how old are you? I'm 23 years young. Hi, thank you for joining. How did you got to know about manifesting? The year was 2016, and wait, was it 2016? I think it was like late 2015, if I'm being honest. So like my mom was watching the secret video, and that's how I kind of got into law of attraction. From there, like I was exploring law of attraction for a while, and like I think in 2020, September 2020-ish was when I kind of found Neville. I did hear about Neville like prior to that before, but I just didn't bother looking up into that, and I discovered him, like, and then I kind of explored in 2020 September, and from there, yeah, that's how I kind of got into this whole thing. Oh my god. Thank you for joining, guys. I really appreciate your calmness. The way you explain things with so much of calmness and clarity is commendable. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Hi dog, how are you? Up for some chai? Yeah, I just had chai before I came, so yeah, all good. Hi Chan, thanks for joining. Are you from India? No, I'm not. I'm from Singapore. Yeah, so I think some of my friends are joining as well. Hey, just love your post. Thank you so much for your support, guys. That's really amazing. Like, cause like if it wasn't for this like wonderful community, like I wouldn't be able to like do what I'm doing right now. So really, from the bottom of my heart, like I really thank all of you for that. So yeah. Okay, we have a question. If we want to get back to an SP, communication, seeing each other, being in love would be a natural thing to manifest, right? Because we are basically always living in the end of something. Okay, so let me read the question again. If you want to. Yeah. Of course, because like when you're automatically thinking about the good things about your SP and being in a relationship, and as you're visualizing like hanging out with them and so on, like yeah, you will get into that state of being in love with them, right? Provided you don't think about like if this was a SP that you have history with, provided you don't think about all those things that didn't work out in the past, right? So forget about the 3D, forget about the past, and just go into, like your imaginal scenes, and just experience that. And it is natural to want that love as well. So yeah. Oh, thanks, John. How can I manifest money? Literally, how you manifest everything, right? So like, what I would do is I would just write affirmations down. I say things, and I would change the perception I have about money, right? That's the most important thing, right? That's when I had my breakthrough with money, was when I changed my perception about money. At the end of the day, money is just a tool, right? If you watch the movie that came out in I think it was like 2010 or 2011, I believe, it's called Marginal Call, right? At the end scene, it's a movie about the financial recession, right? At the end scene, this guy will say, it's just money, it's just made up. That's what it is. It's just made up. It's just a tool, right? It's not the end of it all. Think about what you hope to gain out of that money. Think about what that financial freedom, that financial abundance brings you, right? And when you think about it that way, what happens is you're not afraid to invest in yourself. You're not afraid to buy things, and you're not afraid to let go of money, right? Because you're not coming at it from a scarcity mindset. You're coming at it from an abundance mindset. And that's really the key that helped me, was like being in that abundance mindset, like seeing in everything as an investment. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. How can we manifest proposal from your SP? Okay, I don't know why you want to manifest a proposal from my SP, but no, I'm just kidding. Okay, so if marriage is your end goal, I would say, like, think about marriage like, as it is, like, go straight to the end, right? Proposal is the middle, right? But that said, if you do want to manifest a proposal, right, imagine a scene, right? Imagine a scene where your SP is like maybe showing you a wedding ring and asking you, will you marry me? Or maybe your friends are there, whatever like makes you feel good, right? So imagine that, and I feel like that would be a great way to go. There's no fixed way to go about it. You can even script it and read it as well, like as though you're writing a journal entry in your diary. So yeah, that helps as well. So yeah, you're welcome. So hey guys, you guys can just ask me anything, and yeah, let me just sip my water really quickly. If you were in a situation right now where your SP will plan on going abroad anytime, how will you deal with the seeming impossible circumstance? I won't feel okay. So I love when people ask me if you were in something, right? Like what would I do? Okay, here's the thing. Like, I would not feel threatened or whatsoever. Like, this is not impossible. So what? They're just going abroad, and so like, what does that mean? Like, it's only an obstacle if you deem it an obstacle. So what? Like, if they're going, if you have a very strong self-concept of yourself, you will come at it from a place of course they're going to love me, of course our relationship is a strong one, so why would it affect it, right? So you would always come at it from that perspective. You wouldn't make this an obstacle for yourself. Like, if I were to be in this, I wouldn't even make it seem like an impossible circumstance, right? Because things change, people move out of country at times, you may even move to that place. So like, things really like change, and nothing is always set in stone, right? So you don't have to like make it an impossible circumstance for you, right? Don't have to fight it, and don't have to make it that seemingly big mountain to pass by in your journey, right? So yeah, don't even treat it like that. Like, just say that everything is always favorable for you, that the bridge of incidents is unfolding perfectly. Focus on your end vision, right? And just intend that everything is unfolding perfectly, and just keep going. So yeah, that's how I would deal with it. How should I manifest my dad's permission for sending me to a different city to study? Focus on being in that different city and studying rather than manifesting your dad's permission, because that will be a natural event that would happen when you're focusing on the end. Focus on the end, right? Put your focus where it matters, right? What you're focusing right now, your dad's permission, is the middle, right? Because in your mind, that's the logical flow of events, right? Okay, my dad has to give me permission, then I'll go to but that doesn't have to be the case. When you focus straight in the end, right, all those events will automatically happen, or it will maybe happen in another way where you do get to study and your dad's permission becomes irrelevant at that point, right? It can happen in a number of different ways. So focus on what truly matters. When he's possessive, in my case, since past 19 years, doesn't matter, right? Circumstances don't matter. We say circumstances don't matter for a reason, right? It doesn't matter. Your past is irrelevant to your manifestations. If we base everything on the past when it comes to our desires, trust me, half the people wouldn't even dare to manifest what they desire, right? I'm not trying to trivialize like what you're going through. I completely understand. But yeah, so focus on what you desire and the bridge of incidents will naturally unfold. So yeah. Okay, I do have some private question. After 3 to 4 days, I feel negative or anxious. How can I lift myself up and get back into track? I think like get out of your current routine, do something out of the norm. If you're stuck at home, go for a walk. Focus on the current present things that you have to deal with, your job or your studies, for example, and then come back to this when you're feeling better. Don't be sitting down there and worrying or something if you can't do anything about it, right? Because at that point you're just sitting ducks there. So like I would say, like, do something, get out and do something that's completely unrelated to your manifestation, and then come back to this when you're feeling better. So yeah. Can you give a detailed example of how to correctly script, please? Okay, there's no correct way to script, right? There's no such thing as like correctly doing something. This is all about what resonates with you. That's it. Like I would say, like there are like multiple ways to do it, right? Like you can just write like time yourself and write things for like 10 minutes and like write down all your affirmations. You can write it as a journal entry, as I mentioned, and the key thing is to like either read it again or write something like that every single day, because consistency is key, more so than if it's right or wrong. As long as those things listed are favorable, I think it should be fine. So yeah. I forgot to say we are still not back together. That's why I'm scared him going abroad. I want to manifest. Yeah, then just focus on getting back together, right? Like just focus on getting back together, and everything will unfold perfectly, right? You're focusing on the 3D right now, right? Like, which you shouldn't be, right? All you should be focusing on is your imaginal scene. So yeah. How to forget the past when you were... I'm sorry, can you like Lara Sen, can you like repeat your question? I don't understand the last two words. Thanks. Okay, so how to forget the past when SP rejected you. Okay, so like you don't have to forget it, but you can in your mind not let it be an obstacle for your manifestation, right? So in revision, right, you're not sometimes you can revise the entire event as though it didn't happen, but at the same time you can also reduce the severity of what actually went down that day. That doesn't matter at the end of the day. So you can like dampen down the severity of the issue, because when you replay it sometimes, right, like you can exaggerate things in your mind, and when you see it that way, it will all make sense, right? So you don't have to forget it per se, but at least tell yourself and remind yourself that it doesn't have to be an obstacle, that your SP rejected you. Is it real? Question mark. Manifestation. Can I really manifest my SP? I mean, yes, it's real. If not, I wouldn't be here sitting talking till my throat is dry right now. But yeah, you see, that's the thing that I always say, like, earlier as well in my highlights, I spoke about this, right? Like when people come and tell me, like, I don't believe in manifestation anymore, is it real? Like, I can't, like, make you like realize that, like, you have to go and try it. Like, I can sit down here and talk about techniques and what to do and everything all the time, but you have to put in the work and apply it and try it for yourself, right? And go and try it for little things like a cup of coffee or seeing a specific colored car. If those things can happen, then it's also the same for things like SP as well, right? So try it, and then like you will know for sure. So yeah. Thank you for joining, guys. Oh my god. I'm trying to... Okay, hello. So I need some suggestion regarding my current situation. Actually, me and my SP are great, but he doesn't express his feelings. Like, he's trying to suppress them because he thinks that if something bad happens, it'll be very difficult for us. I know he loves me, but he doesn't want a committed relationship. So what can I do? See him in a better light. Use your imagination, have inner conversations with him, right? And don't focus on the 3D. Don't take whatever your SP says too seriously, because they are reflecting your current perceptions of them. So change that and he will change. So yeah. Hello from Germany. Hi, thank you for joining. Did I miss a question earlier? Okay, I don't think so. Okay, I have a... Oh, okay. This is not exactly manifesting, but I feel quite demotivated sometimes about work and feel overwhelmed and tired even for things I like to do. Suppose then I even start spiraling with SP. What is WRT? Sorry. How to stay passionate and energetic and not rub off this tiredness and boredom on the SP front. Okay, I'll answer that like private question as well. Okay, so another private question says, my English sucks. So can we so manifest it? I really don't get the question. So can we so manifest it? Like, I really don't get the question. Oh, with respect to, okay. So here's the thing. So okay, let me read the question again. Sorry, this is not exactly manifesting. Okay, so you're saying like your work kind of like the tiredness from that kind of like bleeds into with regards to SP as well, right? So what I would say is, get the rest you need, right? And like go by your life first, like like get everything into order first. And as you're doing that, as you are investing in yourself and giving yourself that proper rest and whatnot, I feel like you will start like to feel a bit more like energetic, and and don't let anything stress you out either, generally speaking, with regards to work or anything. At the end of the day, it's just work, right? You will find a way, and like, so don't like waste too much energy overthinking about something, because that's when you will normally feel like tiredness and stuff like that when it comes to work wise, and that will stop like kind of bleeding into SP as well. So yeah, hope that makes sense. How to remove negative thoughts apart from maintaining a mental diet, because that also gets difficult to maintain. Well, I'll be very honest here, like maintaining a favorable mental diet in the beginning, yes, it may be difficult, but it's difficult because you have unfavorable thoughts in your mind. You have been programmed to think a certain way for years on end, if not months, right? So it will take a little bit of effort at first, but that's the only thing you have to do, right? You don't have to lift a finger in the 3D to do anything else. So I feel like that is still worth it, right? So like, and also like being aware of your thoughts all the time. It may be tiring at first, but it's definitely worth it. And that's one of the like the most convenient ways that I have seen when it comes to changing your thoughts. So yeah, like I think maintaining a favorable mental diet is really crucial in order to manifest things, because it's your thoughts that manifest, and mental diet is simply just your thoughts that you are maintaining in your mind, and you want it to be favorable if you want to manifest something. So yeah. Like good communication skills, right? Okay, sure. Yeah, we can definitely manifest good communication skills. So what I would do is visualize speaking in a particular language, fluently, or like someone complimenting me, saying like, hey, your so and so is really good, like your English is really good, where did you learn it, and so on and so forth, right? So I think like maybe doing something like that and also like affirming to yourself can really help as well. And also like do the work that you have to do with regards to learning English, and complement it with like affirmations and like visualizing and so on, and I feel like that would really help you. So yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, got it. Thanks for the explanation, Doc. Inner conversations also like talking to your SP in person. For example, I want to talk to him mentally on how we can improve our relationship and how we can accept each other. So yes, that is something like that, right? So what you're essentially doing is when you're having inner conversations, you're talking to the ideal version of your SP. We call it the 4D version of your SP, right? So you can talk to your SP about anything, and on top of it you can also hear favorable replies from your SP as well. So that's the main thing there, is to have back and forth loving favorable conversations and assuming that to be true until it hardens into fact without paying attention to the 3D version that's showing up right now. Is it good to affirm something with I know that? For example, I know he loves me. Yeah, I mean, if it resonates with you, why not, right? Not every single affirmation has to start with I am, right? So if it resonates with you, go ahead. Yeah. How many times should you revise an event? Okay, so how many times should you do this? As much as you need to, until it becomes natural in your mind, until it becomes your default thought in your mind, until it feels natural as possible. That's what Neville would say, right? As much as it feels like natural as possible. So yeah. So thank you for answering. So basically I should go to the end of getting back together already, and at the same time he did not go abroad. So you don't have to micromanage everything, right? Whether or not he goes back, that doesn't matter at the end of the day. When you focus on the end, that will sort itself out. So you just have to focus on your joyful union of your SP. So yeah, me and my SP, we are in same class, so how can I ignore it? I feel sad and negative. Okay, here's the thing, right? If SP is staring at your face in like a workplace setting, or in this case a classroom, right, stop giving things an unfavorable meaning, right? Tell yourself that the silence is only making our love grow stronger. You can still assume the best even if you guys are not talking, or even if you are there, right? If you find reasons to feel bad, trust me, you'll always find 1,000 reasons to feel bad, and to find like as to why it doesn't work and so on. But if you can buckle down and focus on your imaginal scenes, which you should be doing, you will also find that hope to push through it as well. So yeah. How to know that my new thought impressed my subconscious mind? This is a great question. So if that's the first thought or first series of thoughts that comes to your mind, right, if they are favorable, right, if it's something based on your affirmation, that's when your new thought has been impressed into your subconscious mind. So yeah, let's say you think about your SP and you think like, oh, of course this person loves me. That's when you have impressed your subconscious mind, when you can't think other than anything but favorable, basically. How to keep ego aside, because why should I be interested in someone who isn't interested in me? I mean, like, I can't justify like why should you be interested in someone, but you have the desire for a reason, right? You can have anyone you want. So essentially what you're doing is you're just honoring your desire and you're going with the flow there, right? So if your ego does say that, ask yourself, why do you actually want it, and list down the reasons that way, right? It can be as simple as because I said so, right? So yeah. And just to add on to that, like, you don't have to justify anything, not even to yourself. So remember that if you have a desire, you have it, right? I always say desire is always given to you from the divine source, right? And every desire is just a nudge from the higher self / universe to kind of express yourself. So yeah. Okay, I have a private question. How can I manifest being crowned as Miss World? Imagine it, visualize it. I don't know how that works, but like imagine the ceremony, like imagine the previous year contestant like putting the crown on you, focus on like maybe walking down the stage and everything like that, and affirm for it, see it in your mind. have inner conversations with people from that frame of being crowned as Miss World and so on. So yeah. Is it okay now if you don't feel like scripting some days? Like I don't feel like doing as much stuff as I used to do before. Okay, so here's the thing. You can feel that, but provided your mental diet is favorable, right? I would encourage people to be as consistent as they can be, especially in the beginning, because self-discipline is very important, right? Putting in the work you may not feel like doing certain things, you may not feel like exercising, right? But then you don't complain when you don't have that body you desire, right? So like, put it simply, put in the work if you have to, like don't like cut short on that, in that be consistent as much as possible until that thought becomes natural for you, right? So put in the work in the beginning, and if that thought becomes natural for you, then you can start to dial down. But whatever routine you're doing, be consistent with it. You can dial down the frequency of how often you do it, but in some capacity be consistent, because sometimes you are breaking years worth of patterns. So immediately once you revert, like stop doing something, you will revert back to the old story. So yeah. What do you think about to give everything a good meaning? Like if he doesn't ask me for a meeting, I just say, oh, he's just a little nervous, he'll ask me. Yeah, I think that's perfect. Honestly, like give everything a favorable meaning. I think that's a great way to go about it. So yeah, thank you for answering. You're welcome. Hi guys, thank you for joining. Hi Pam. What to do when doubts rush your mind? Take a breather, calm down, tell yourself you're not your thoughts, you're the observer that's within. Don't take your thoughts too seriously, and like I said earlier in the live, you're not your thoughts, you're the observer that's within, and you can always give yourself the underlying rule that only favorable thoughts manifest for me. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, so last question. How is it already yours? If you can see it in your mind, it's already yours, right? There are infinite possibilities. So if you can already see it in your mind, it's already yours. Everything you desire is already yours. There are infinite parallel realities, and the fact that you can imagine possessing it or experiencing it is reason enough that it's already yours, basically. So yeah. How do we accept that consciousness is the only reality more than the physical reality? There's no like fixed way to go about this. I would say like dwelling in your imaginal scenes more. Like what makes it quote unquote fake and what makes this real, right? If you can experience it in the same way, like if you have seen like reports of like athletes visualizing themselves running and their muscles being activated, like as though they are running, like how do you actually differentiate reality, right? So that's how I see it, right? Like everything is happening, everything that's happening is an illusion in my opinion, because everything is a result of past thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs that how do you know what's actually real, right? So that's how I see it. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, you're welcome. I often find myself saying my affirmations when doing nothing. Okay, so what's your question there? Yes, I'm going to save this live. It will be on YouTube. Yes. What is your greatest manifestation? My entire life right now. Really, like it's. If you know my personal life, like you will know that the lifestyle that I'm living right now is something that I would have dreamed of like back in like maybe 2017 or 2018, right? Living that free life and being able to do what I desire, and being happy in that process, right? I can go to bed peacefully, like having that life at the age I do, like that's my greatest manifestation. So yeah, I'm not tensed, I'm calm, I'm peaceful about my desires. Still sometimes I get triggered by 3D. Is it okay? Yes, it's okay. Just don't give it too much attention, don't let it affect you. Ask yourself, why do you feel triggered still, and work on it as well, right? Because there's always room for improvement. So yeah. How to stop hot and cold behavior from SP while manifesting him? Don't focus on the 3D and just keep focusing on your imaginal scenes. How can we manifest good grades when you haven't studied for exams and you have only 10 to 12 days left? Okay, I get this question a lot, right? Like firstly, like if you are embodying the ideal person, like this isn't some shortcut that you are doing to like bypass something, right? Like it's a way of life. Manifesting is a way of life, right? So imagine that the outcome is favorable for you, and with the remaining time you have, study, right? Like 10 to 12 days is a lot actually, right? If you buckle down and focus, right, assume that whatever that you're studying from now till the exam date is the only thing that's being tested, right? Assume that every circumstance is favorable for you. Like put in the work as well. Don't use the 10 to 12 days to panic wondering how do you manifest. Put in the work. Just intend that everything is going favorable for you. But that doesn't mean you don't like study at all, for example, right? So I'll tell you guys a story, right? Like during my O levels, right? Like for those of you from India, that's like 10th grade, for example. I didn't exactly like like study the entire syllabus for a subject called social studies, right? I only studied like 2 topics. I memorized it and I took a gamble, right? But somewhere I knew that that's what would be tested, and that's the exact same thing that came out, right? People thought I was nuts, but the moral of the story is not that you don't study, is that you just go into this with the assumption that everything is going to be favorable for you, right? It's to have that kind of conviction, but you still put in the work, right? You still go by and do whatever you have to do. Like that's one thing that I got wrong during my early days of manifestation, I would say. So yeah. So it's a good thing. I often find myself saying affirmations, doing nothing. I think saying affirmations is fine. You don't have to lift a finger in the tree, like I always say. You just go by your life, do whatever you have to do, do your responsibilities, execute your duties, and you don't have to take active steps towards your desire per se, but you still go about your life, right? There will always be movement, and there may be unexpected things that happens, and the bridge of incidents will unfold, but you may not be aware of those bridge of incidents. So yeah, you can affirm and things will unfold on its own way, but assume that your desire is already yours. Can we manifest something unusual, like bracket walking on water or something like that, as we are the god of our reality? You can, but it may happen in a way that you may not expect it to, right? Oftentimes when people manifest something like this, they will manifest it in a very different way, right? Like you may, for example, in your case, right, you may walk on a swimming pool with like a glass panel on it or something like that. Technically speaking, you're walking on water, right? But that doesn't mean your manifestation didn't come true. So sometimes you have to be very specific about it, and it will happen for sure. We often hear there are so many things that we have not discovered in our world yet, right? So if you can imagine it, I do believe it can happen, right? We hear of like monks flying at times, people just like disappearing. I do believe it, right? Like you can go to the extreme ends of this example, but again, like you have to put in the work and you have to believe it with a high level of conviction as well, in my opinion. So yeah. I want to be good at quantitative skills, but I've not done math in 12 years. Now when I sit to study, I genuinely get bored, though I keep at it. The bigger issue is applying the skills I use in cases. So intend for you to get the help you need and do the work you can, do your best, but intend that you get the appropriate help you need, and intend that everything unfolds favorably for you, right? So that's the best we can do right now. And don't let you not doing math in the past 12 years affect you right now, right? How would the ideal student think? How would a top student think? Like try to embody that and try to think from that perspective as much as you can. So yeah, you're welcome. Yes, I will save the live for the third time or fourth time, guys. I will be saving this live on YouTube. All my lives will be on YouTube. So yeah, and I'll put the date as well. So today, where I am right now, is the 6th of May. So I'll definitely put the date as well so that you guys can know which one I'm saving. Can we manifest that we know some other language and know how to write and read in that, even though in current 3D you don't know a single thing about that? Okay, you can assume that, but the way it may unfold is that you may be put into a situation where you will be forced to learn it, right? Because like quantum jumping into that kind of a thing, like immediately, it really depends on your level of conviction. Because like but when you're doing these kinds of things, like you may wonder like, okay, how is this possible, or can I really do this? And if provided you can stick to this consistently, then if all things are possible, then certainly it is. But the way it may happen may drastically vary. Like I was talking about this with another friend of mine, because he wants to learn the piano, and I was just joking to him, like, those, like, one of those stories where people hit their head somewhere and then suddenly they can play the piano, right? So I was joking, like, don't end up as one of those guys, right? So be careful as to what you desire and how you desire it as well. So yeah. Okay, let me get a quick sip of water. So yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. I'll end the live in about 15-ish minutes. So yeah. Let me see if I missed out any questions. Hope I didn't. Okay. Is visualization important? I'm so sorry I missed that. But can we just go for affirmation? Yeah, so visualization is just a technique, right? It's just a tool. What matters more is you believing it with a high level of conviction that your desire is already yours. So just going for affirmations is fine. I am very well aware that not everyone can visualize with ease. So yeah. Sorry guys, because sometimes I really miss out the questions because there's like so many just stacked up. So that's why I'm like scrolling up to see if I missed out anything. Okay, I don't think I missed anything so far. What is your manifestation routine if you're manifesting something? I just think about it favorably. I maintain a favorable mental diet. Sometimes I may write it down on a piece of paper. I time myself for a couple of minutes and I'll just write it down. I don't think about how impossible it is. I think about what would it feel like if it were to be true, and those are the things that I do. Pretty standard stuff if I'm being honest, but one thing that I do is be consistent with those routines, right? Different things works for different manifestations for me, so I may not apply the same routine for all my manifestations. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Hi Soul Trip, thank you for joining. Hi Rose, thank you for joining. How to be more confident in front of SP? How do you bring them down from the pedestal, right? Bring them down from the pedestal. They are just another person in your reality. In your reality, you are the movie star, right? So your SP is not some person who is like the most important person or anything like that. In your reality, like literally you are the star, right? So remember that. Remember that they are just you pushed out, and remember that you are the most important person, and the only reason they feel special is because you make them so, and that's it. Like demystify them, right, in your mind, and that will really help you. Okay, so I can affirm that I know that thing, but in the best way possible. Yeah, you can. Is it okay to add time frame to your manifestation? Yes, it is. But just don't think when is it going to happen, how is it going to happen. More importantly, will this actually happen by then? And don't stress yourself out. Right? Like if you can come at it from the conviction that Abdullah had when Neville went to Barbados, right? Like when Neville was it's like approaching closely, Ab, is this going to happen kind of thing. He was like, you're now in Barbados, right? If you can have that level of conviction, by all means go ahead, right? Otherwise I feel like sometimes you can put pressure on yourself, so just be wary of that. But yeah, you can definitely do it. Hi Dave, thank you for joining. Okay, I have two private questions. Sometimes with visualizing about desires, opposite thoughts or anxious scenes starts popping up. What to do? Don't resist it, let it pass by. Like I said, tell yourself only favorable things happens for you. And yeah, just keep going, right? Because not every single thought you have comes true, only the dominant ones manifest. So yeah, how do you deal with the presence of third party when trying to manifest my SP? Okay, So what I would do is, when it comes to third party, right? Firstly, I wouldn't even label them as third party. I wouldn't even like give them the honor of being a romantic rival, right? So don't even give them that title and make it an obstacle for yourself, right? Don't worry about the 3D and just be like, it's irrelevant. Third party is irrelevant to your manifestation. Don't even call them that anymore, right? This person is irrelevant to my desire. And you can always say, like, me getting back together with my SP works out in the best possible way for everyone involved. Any tips to increase self-concept? Do things out of your comfort zone consistently. Like for example, doing dishes or cleaning your room, folding your laundry and stuff like that. Even those kinds of simple things will really help you, right? When you do something, honor yourself and like commit yourself to that, and that will increase your self-concept. Learning new skills from time to time, developing yourself that way, that also helps you to increase your self-concept. What else? Yeah, and just being consistent with anything that you do, and like focusing on your hobbies and making it all about yourself, and investing in yourself in any way possible increases your self-concept. How long does it take to manifest physical appearance changes? It varies from person to person, so yeah, it really depends on your subconscious beliefs there. Okay, thank you so much, you're welcome. If everyone is pushed out, so basically it's not the SP giving us the feeling of being in love, etc. It's basically just our own self. Yes, that's right. And they are only mirroring it, correct? And basically the credit should be given to us. Yes, that is so correct. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, guys. Yeah, you guys are really asking like great questions. I think like when I post it on YouTube as well, like it'll really be beneficial for like people who didn't come up on live here as well. Thanks for all the heart shapes that are flying everywhere as well. Hope I've not missed any. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, yeah, just bring them my way. Anyone can manifest any person is actually scary, because what if I marry someone and someone tries to manifest my partner? Yeah, it's 11/11. Yes, I noticed that. Thanks. Okay, here's the thing with the whole manifesting your partner thing, right? I always say this, like, you don't have to be afraid of that because you are the only one with free will in your reality, right? I always talk about the 5 basic manifestations rules. Thoughts create your reality. Circumstances don't matter. You are the only one with free will, so everyone has to conform to you. Thought transmissions are real, so think favorably. And last but not least, there's always movement, right? I always have that rule that you are the only one with free will in your reality, because the consciousness, the I amness that's within you is experiencing this through you. So no one can manifest you unless you allow them to do so by thinking otherwise, right? So yeah, thanks for the no contact YouTube video. Yeah, you're welcome, Dave. Came at the right time. Yeah, like another friend of mine also said that, Dave. So yeah, it's funny that you said that. Wow, thank you so much. Hope you can do more lives next time around. Yeah, I intend to do so for sure. Therefore, circumstances don't matter, right? Especially when SP is mad at you or you let them down multiple times during a difficult period and we didn't know better before. Yeah, if you didn't know better before, yeah, it doesn't really matter because the past is irrelevant to your manifestations, right? We say circumstances do not matter because at the end of the day there exists a reality where you have gone through everything that you have done, but you still manage to get your reality, right? In the infinite parallel realities, there's always a way for you to get your desire, regardless of where you are right now, right? No matter how ugly your fight was with your SP. We love your live Q&A. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so how often should I affirm? As often as you need to. I would say, like, especially in the beginning, I would say like as often as you can. Whenever you get pockets of time, affirm. Like during your morning commute or anything. You can even record it using apps or something and like just listen to it as well. So yeah. One more question. Thank you for answering. It really helped. I've been anxious in the past but trying to overcome it. honestly, anxiety is, if it's a clinically diagnosed kind of situation, I can completely empathize. Just take it easy for yourself, right? Like, don't let yourself spiral. Do some things, try to stay in the present moment when you're not doing your manifestation routines. Focus on what you're doing at that moment, and then when it's time to do your manifestation routines, then focus on that. So yeah. So yeah, I'll be ending it in about 5-ish kind of minutes. So if you guys have any questions, yeah, just let me know. I have one complicated question. Every question is really simple, don't worry. I don't know how to ask. For example, two girls, oh wow, A and B both manifest you with equal intensity. Then amongst A and B, who will get you? Oh, this is not as complicated as you think it would be. Honestly, whoever you think has a better chance with you, if you think that, they will manifest, like you will manifest them. Again, in your reality, you are the only one with free will. So no one can manifest you, right? So it's about you thinking that they are manifesting you. So if you think, like, let's say A has a better chance and everything like that, if you have a better impression of A, then chances are you will end up with A, if you want to end up with any of them in the first place. So yeah. Yes, my YouTube channel is linked in my bio in my Linktree page. Yes, thank you. How about when we are in the wish fulfilled state, when we don't get much triggered, should we still affirm? Okay, so when you say wish fulfilled, depends. If you are like let's say if you're on the Sabbath, that you have that complete absolute sense of knowingness that my desire is mine, like 100% confidence, right? Then you don't have to do anything. But if you are still kind of like 90% there, 80% there, I would say, like, try to do it. Don't be complacent there, because as much as you may be like 90% there, as long as it's not like 100% natural for you to believe with a conviction that your desire is already yours, I would say, like, affirm and do your routines. Yes, affirmations are literally just thoughts, right? Yes, correct. They are just thoughts. It's better to think of them as a lifestyle rather than a chore or task in order to get something. Absolutely, yes. But in the beginning, you may find it like a little bit of like a chore, because you are trying to reprogram yourself. So yeah, can I write in Hindi? You can write it in any language. It doesn't have to be in English only. Irfan, thank you for joining. I always get excited when my like friends from join. Hope you're doing well, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna be ending this in about a few minutes. So if you guys have any last questions, be sure to ask me, guys. Thanks for the support, Dave. What time is it there? It's 11:16 in the night, actually. Yeah, I'm from Singapore, so yeah. Pleasure to see you still doing this. Respect the grind. Hey, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Final question. Can I do only visualization or only affirmation or only scripting? Yes. You can do just one technique. One technique is more than enough, actually. So if it resonates with you, if that's what works for you, if that's the only thing that you're comfortable doing with, then yeah, as long as you are consistent, that's fine. Yeah. You're awesome. Very rare to find someone taking out their time. Oh, it's my pleasure. So this live will be on YouTube, guys. It will be titled like Insta Live, and the date will be in the title. So yeah, so you guys can always find it, and my previous lives as well. So I have an entire playlist. So all the lives that I've been doing, I think there's like 4 or 5 at this point. I think this is the 5th one, if I'm not wrong. So everything will be in my YouTube channel. So yeah. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up. So if you guys have any last minute questions, just bring them my way, and yeah, we'll call it a day then. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I really appreciate the support and love that I'm getting everywhere, and yeah, so thank you so much for everything, be it the support on Instagram that I'm receiving all the time, and whether it's the support that I get like on YouTube, or like even my Facebook group as well. So yeah. Oh yeah, so by the way, if you guys want to post anonymously, the Facebook group is the best platform to do it. So just be reminded to answer the 2 questions. So it's basically your email for the mailing list, basically, and how did you find us, and lastly, you just have to agree to the group rules. So yeah, this is just to ensure like authenticity, because we just want to make sure that people understand, like what they can post and everything. Yeah, so that's about it. And you can post anonymously as well. So when you post, there's a tab which is like post anonymously, and you can just like activate that, and your name will only be visible to me when you are posting it, basically, as the admin. But other than that, that's about it, really. So when it comes to the Facebook group, that's about all. If you do want to sign up for coaching with me, I do have spots for 1 month coaching with calls. A slot just opened up as well. So if you guys are interested, do let me know as well. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about coaching or DM support or whatsoever, be sure to bring them my way. Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for all your support. Good vibes everywhere. Yes, Dave. Yeah, so guys, I'm going to wrap it up. So thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and happy manifesting. Peace.